All right, what's up, congratulators? Welcome back if you're new. Welcome to the Ultimate Psychology channel. I'm Xavier Garcia, creating awesome videos to cure all your life. So we're in the midst of quarantine, right? COVID-19 2020, and it's a world pandemic, and everybody's staying home. And this is kind of all the stuff where things happen. This is where the magic happens, or the not so good things happen, right? The miraculous happens, or that's in response to magic. I like to use the word miraculous. But, people, human beings, we're like animals, right? And as animals, we do our mating rituals, and we make love, and the byproduct of that love making is more people, more children, and human beings. And so this is a funny event because I'm going into this week, and as you've read on the title, that this is my conception week. This is a week that we've been praying for, my wife and I, and we're praying that this week she's going to have her ovulation, and that we're going to commit an act of love, and that we're going to produce and procreate a child, a baby boy, God willing. I'm already a father, a girl dad. I'm a father of a little girl, my stepdaughter. And I have a princess already, and so now I want my prince. And so, biologically speaking, and there's some very strong ties to that. And as I've told my daughter already, blood is thicker than water, but it's the blood of Jesus that unites us, and that's more than our earthly blood or our biological blood. And so, in family, it's the family of God that is stronger than any other family. And so, this is what we proclaim. But anyways, that's kind of how I incorporate and the belief system and the truth to me, in my opinion, and how I see things, however you see it. But I'm assuming we're semi like-minded, but if we're not, we don't have to agree on everything. So that's the place that we're at. I'm in the place of we're looking forward to a week that we've been planning for a long time. My wife and I, I'm 37 years old already now. And so there's some anxiety going with my age, and I'm trying to stay confident and have my composure and remember that I'm a mature adult and that I'm ready for this, I'm prepared. So there was some anxiety going into it, but daily talking with God, talking with my wife, and getting in these last conversations, these last convos before we go in, so that we know that we're synced up, that we're in alignment, and that we have we have our stuff together. And that yes, anything can happen, but we want to produce this child in love. And so this video is for any of you fathers out there, you fathers to be, anyone who's praying to be a father, even you mothers, just to see the inside of what it's like objectively, or inside of another man. This is a Planned Parenthood. This is something that we planned. I had a great loving relationship with my father, and he's no longer with us. He as of this recording, he's been gone for he passed away in 2014, and I met Christina, my wife, 3 months later after he passed away. And he was my best man. So, not at the wedding, but just in my life. We talked every day, almost every other day. And so, but, it's kind of like he had to step out, go to heaven, and I got an angel from heaven, my wife. And so, and I already met her. I was already 32, and I told myself, because growing up in a broken home, my parents split, divorced when I was 3 years old, and if I couldn't make the world right, I wasn't going to do it at all, right? If you can't do something right, don't do it at all. Sometimes done is better than perfect, but when it comes to child rearing and raising, although the time is never right sometimes, that I just wasn't going to go into it haphazardly, or wasn't going to be able to provide for my child the kind of experience, the childhood that I want for them, that I wanted for myself. Both of my parents loved me, and I have a great relationship with my father, so that I'm at peace with that. I'm whole with that, as well as with my mother. And my mother was a challenge too, because even looking for a wife, that was the hardest part, because my mom loved me so much, and I love my mom so much even to this day. Always will, right? She's my favorite girl. And but to find another woman these days, it seems like in this generation, who could give that love to my son. And I always thought of having a son, and I think I kind of made a mistake in that, because now that I'm older and I see the beauty of children, like I want more children, I want brothers and sisters, and I think it's just a beautiful thing. I have you know, four sisters and a brother, and two adopted, another brother, another sister, and so. Man, I love this, and I would love for them to grow up. It just wasn't in my cards, and it wasn't kind of what I set my intention or my vision to be. And so now that I'm older, I'm realizing that's probably not going to be in our cards. You know, when we got married, you know, and I'm right now in these certain circumstances. You know, I'm kind of in a dead-end job, so to speak. You know, I'm just a food service worker, an essential worker, and it's a valuable thing, but it isn't and I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And so, you know, God forbid I don't have gratitude for it or whatever, because I do and I'm thankful for it. But there's a part of me that I'm meant for, not just more, but for something else, for something different. But I am right where I'm supposed to be. You know, I met my wife at this job, in this workplace, and that's my soulmate, right? How many of us are scouring the world, the planet, going on this greatest adventure of our lives, looking for our soulmate, and most of us fail at it, right? We don't get the girl, we don't get the woman, or we find someone who's subpar, suboptimal, that's not really that we're incompatible with, or that we even developed ourselves to attract that kind of woman or to find her, and even cultivate that relationship once you do find someone like that. So many miraculous things to happen just to get to this point in history and time. And you know, I told Christina, my wife, you know. Well, first of all, I wasn't expecting to meet her until I became successful. I thought that to manifest her in my life, I was going to have to become super successful, already like, you know, the top public speaker in the world or whatever, motivational speaker in the world, and that maybe she would come and attend one of my seminars because she'd be super geeked about self-improvement, self-education, and then I would find her and pick her out of the crowd. It didn't happen that way. We found love right where we are, right where we were. And this is how God worked things out. He works in mysterious ways. And it's just perfect. His ways are better than my ways. And so I'm thankful when I received the gift. And so when we planned this, I was telling her, and this is a lot about my backstory, but I hope that you can relate relatively with your story, because there's a lot that does go into this. And so for me to give you a 5 little, you know, video about bing, bam, boom, it's more than that. Life is much richer. And so that's why I go into depth and I go into detail with these stories, so that you can relate and that you feel that you're not alone, because that whole world, that inner world, it's deep and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And so that's why I share so much. And so if you have any comments, please comment below. If you can relate or whatnot, just write I relate, and you can share some of your stories and whatnot. But or send me a video. You know, you can email me or text. You know, find me on Instagram. So we're setting up our vision for what we're going to do, this vehicle for going into the future. And I told her that, you know, I wanted to be my own man by the time when I have a baby. I want to be making my own money, because that's going to give me a certain amount of respect, or something that I feel I needed to become like a real official man, right? And I said, give me 2 years, and then ready or not, we're just going to do it. And so we married in 2017, February 2017, and now we are in May of 2020. And so time has passed, right? That time has been expired. And I've come to the maturity that, you know, I don't need that to feel like a man and to start going forward in faith. And primarily too, because her clock is ticking, and she gave me also a window of opportunity, because she's at a certain age, and you know, my mom had a child way after the age of 35, but Christina, for health purposes and just to be on the safe side, right, your chances of having a completely healthy baby is better under the age of 35, and so she's right on the cusp of that. And so her clock is ticking, and she wants it. And once I knew it was like her idea, and that she can vouch for it, and it's just not me just pushing this on her, then I know we can do it. And so we were just kind of waiting for the time. We waited for the holidays to pass, and we were hoping you know, it's kind of like a designer baby. We put all these things, you know, when would we like the baby to be born? When, you know, what kind of name would we like to name him or her? And we're choosing the sex of the child, at least with the intention. God's going to give us what he's going to give us. And so if I get another princess, I get another princess. And then if that's where we're going to stop making and producing babies, then we will. And then I will know that's what was meant for me, and I can embrace and enjoy it. Because people ask me, well, what if it's a girl? What if it's a girl? And so what if it's a girl? And then I'll love her. She'll be my princess too, right? And so I have no problem with that. But I do have a preference. I do have a certain leaning, and that is for a boy, right? A son. I want that relationship. I want that relationship so I can honor my father. I love my dad so much, and I want to be like him. And he had a son, and we had this relationship. And I want to have that relationship. I want to be able to pour into my son and help him to become a man. It'll make me feel like I'm more of a man, because we have this sense, this innate need for contribution, this human need for contribution. And I can give to you, I can give to my friends, my coworkers at work, or just however we go about these things. But to give to your own family, that's a blessing in and of itself that's different. And so I want to have that. And for all the other reasons why we'd want a child of the same sex, or just children in general, right? They're the future, and it feels like, life can go on, and that there is eternity. And for a lot of us, we don't have the option of having biological children. And so I'm prepared for that possible outcome, but I'm declaring certain things. I know that there's complications that can happen and can take place, but we're declaring health, we're declaring prosperity, we're declaring fruitfulness, we're declaring multiplication. So we're declaring these things, and if God answers them according to His will, then they'll happen that way. And if they don't, then there'll be a shift, and we'll adjust and we'll adapt. But so this is a great way to honor my son, or to honor my father. A great way to have and leave a legacy for myself. The name goes on. And so my wife and I, we discussed this, and the time is here. The time is upon us, and this is the week. And so a lot of us, we have big times coming up. I mean, maybe not right now in the COVID quarantine, but even right now, because we still have to develop these compelling futures for ourselves that make us want to go forward. Because without a vision, the people will perish. And so we're looking at this thinking, like, why would you want to bring a child into this world in this state? But that's the way humans have always done it. It's always done. There's always a war or some type of, epidemic, or, just atrocious things. But life must go on, right? And the show must go on. So, because life does go on. And so this is what we do, and we're survivalists, we're thrivalists, and in God we trust, and we go in good faith, and God willing. So this is what we're going forward to. We've researched everything, and there is a 20% chance, statistically speaking, that this will occur this time. And it's exciting because next week is Mother's Day 2020, and so it'd be nice to know that we achieved conception going into Mother's Day 2020. We won't know officially though until I think it's 14 days out, where we can pass the pregnancy test. We get check it out. And so I've been in preparation, physical preparation for this. I've done what I can do within reason. I'm not going to go overboard because I still want to be true to myself, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm in a masculine state. That's just my theory. That's not science necessarily per se, but it could be. Science can figure it out. You can catch up with me or this theory. But I'm sure other people have tried it and it didn't go their way, or even if you try to leverage and stack the deck in your favor, stack the cards. But I'm getting myself in a masculine state, trying to boost my testosterone naturally with the right foods. We have pumpkin seed, because going into the quality of your seed, the quality of your sperm, is you want quality, quantity, and motility. And so we researched some of the foods, just the Google searches and whatnot. And so this is not like a clinical person I've talked to, but hey, it doesn't hurt, right? And so loading up on the pumpkin seeds, that's for quality, loading up on the walnuts for quantity, making sure I'm taking my multivitamin, making sure I'm taking my trace minerals, making sure I'm getting in my omega-3s, staying super well hydrated, carrots for motility, for my little swimmers to swim and break through, to puncture, pierce through that egg, that beautiful, healthy egg. And so when you want to conceive a boy, the intention is that the male sperm are not as strong as the female sperm, and so they don't last as long. So once they're in the vagina, so you want to create an alkaline state within the vagina, and to do that, it's best for the woman to have an orgasm, for her to achieve orgasm simultaneously or even before the man ejaculates and releases his nectar into the woman. And so you want to make sure there's an alkaline state. There's and these are for boys, and it's kind of just the opposite for girls, but you could do your own research. And again, I'm not a clinical pediatrician or anything like that, not even a clinical psychologist. I'm just someone who studies people, and I like to share the information that I gather with you. And so even the time of day and they say closest to ovulation, because if the swimmers, right, these guys over here, the swimmers, they don't last long. So if you're having sex 3 or 4 or 5 days out before ovulation, the swimmers don't live that long inside the vagina. So you want to do it like on ovulation day. And so we've been timing the day of her ovulation. This will be our first attempt, and God willing, boom, one hitter quitter, right? Just like I said, we shoot to kill. So we're gonna make it happen. And and if at first you don't succeed, you try again. So and they said not to worry. I've read through the What to Expect, What You're Expecting book. It's a thick book. It's like 600 pages. But it was a fun, great read, and it gave me like a mock experience. Like I went through the whole pregnancy and everything. So some of it kind of made me nauseous reading through it, and of course some of it gave me baby fever. I was like, let's get it on. So till the break of dawn. So but dawn is a great time to do it, because when you wake up, the man, usually your testosterone reserves are at the highest it's going to be throughout the day. It's in the morning. That's why sometimes we wake up with an erection. And so that's when you want to do it, and that's what, like, maybe statistically, or even if they're just wives' tales, old wives' tales, there's nothing wrong with putting those things into practice and seeing if it works. And at the end of the day, after all these practices and all these methods, you still have a 50-50 chance of getting it or making it happen. So that's where we're at, and that's where we stand. And so this is like the moment of truth, right? We're going into it, and the work has already been done. We just go there, and we go through the process, and we're going to make love. And so we want to have positions that create or the actual moment of climax. We want to make sure that we're in a position for maximum penetration. And so we've discovered what that's going to be for us. And you can do your own research on how you ever feel that that's going to be for you. And this is adult, right? We're adults here. We're all adults here, because I've set the setting for no kids, no children. My daughter's outside the house, but we're doing this early in the wee hours of the morning, and so because I still have work after that, and so we have to keep it quiet. We have neighbors. I'm in a we're doing the best that we can with what we have, and that's also what makes it beautiful, because it's unique unto yourself. Bless their hearts. My Bible study group, men's group. They're like, oh man, X, we're gonna get you a because they're all praying for this. They're praying for us, and so we wanted to get us a nice hotel or something, like overlooking the beach. It's romantic, and they set up this big old occasion for us. And we're okay doing our little bitty life and doing our little thing, living on love. And but then COVID hit, so everything shut down anyway. So this is where it is going to take place. It's going to take place in our sanctuary, in our very room. It's where the miracle is going to happen. So it's a beautiful thing, and this is a Planned Parenthood, and I know a lot of the times people don't put into the thought or the effort all of this. They just kind of go into it, and whatever happens, happens. And sometimes we have happy surprises, and sometimes all children are a blessing. God the Father already knows my child, my son, before he's even born, and so before he's even knitted in the womb, as the scripture says, my son or daughter, but good faith. My son, we've already picked a name, and I really wanted the name so that we can go into this intention. You give your dog a good name, and he'll rise to the occasion, and so it makes it feel more real. And so anytime you're identifying a goal or something like that, try to make it as real as possible for yourself. This night might not even be your strategy. You might want everything just to be a total, complete surprise. You want to be oblivious, and whatever happens, because you can do paralysis by analysis. Just overload can make you feel like, they say familiarity breeds contempt. It's just like, it's not new. It becomes anticlimactic, or it becomes uneventful, or there's another word I'm looking for, but sometimes it also engages you and it juices you. So you got to find out kind of how you're slanted and what's your groove for going into something like this. I'm not a teenager. I'm not even in my early 20s. I'm an established man. I've become myself, and I'm ready for this next adventure in my life. I've built myself. I've self-actualized myself, and obviously there's still room for growth, and there's so many more higher achievements in my life and next chapters. But I found a woman who I believe, after seeing how she is the mother to our daughter, her daughter, my stepdaughter, and I was like, whoa, can you make me one of those? And because she's so awesome, she's so polite, perfect little girl. And obviously as kids grow and we change and we learn about the world, we grow, and it's just this beautiful flourishing. It's kind of, it's wild, but it's still beautiful at the end of the day. And so I love her to death, so I love her to life. And so we've been preparing her too. I haven't wanted her to feel like a third wheel. And so when you're bringing other kids, and sometimes you just bang them out, boom, 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 and you just adapt and adjust. But we weren't taking a blender method. We are a blended family, and so we wanted to take more of a crock pot, because we want this to happen organically and to be a nice, beautiful stew. Because there's so many complications that can take place, and when you're raising children, it's the most important job in the world. You don't want to leave anything chance. And you may never be ready, but you want to give yourself the leverage. You want to give yourself the advantage to be the best that you can be. I know when earlier in my life I wasn't ready for a child. I wasn't emotionally ready, and ready or not, this is the best I'm ever going to be and ever that I'm going to get. Anything past this time, and it's probably not going to be as good as I once was, as I am today. So that's just something I want to share with you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you. And for whatever challenge or opportunity that you have set for yourself, set some big, scary, audacious goals for yourself. And even if whether you hit them or not, you're going to grow. You're going to become the man or the woman better than if you would just set yourself your sights low. Even in this time of quarantine, find a compelling future and create it, and then start going towards that way. The progress will create happiness in your life, and just having something to look forward to will make your life feel meaningful and valuable and significant. So thank you for watching. God bless you guys. See you next week. See you on the next video. Until then, Xavier Garcia signing out, and love is free. Peace.